In certain parts of the country, across the world, the air is starting to get chilly. There's a smell of bonfires and colors of orange and brown, yellow and red abound. It's fall, baby.
The boogeyman is coming.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Nick of the Lost River Drive, and I'm coming at you guys tonight because I want to give you 10 horror films that I feel are essential. These are not the only 10, obviously. I could have picked every Halloween movie, and that probably could have been an entire video in and of itself. I'm not doing that. I just took 10 off the shelf that I really feel are important to watch during the Halloween season. I want to say from the top, there are a few honorable mentions that I just want to mention really quick. Some of them from my childhood, so I'm not ashamed to say that I still watch them, and I don't care. 1, The Exorcist did not make the list. The 10 that I grabbed, but it should be on this list. So The Exorcist is another one you should watch around Halloween. 2 that come to mind for me are Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. I said both of those movies. Oh my God, you're almost 27-year-old man talking about children's Disney movies. Yeah, well, they were part of my childhood, and I still watch them in October. So, this is in no particular order except the number 1, which I bet you have no idea what that'll be. None at all. Zero clue. At all. Which movie is the first one you should watch around Halloween? This one I always start the month off right with normally. That trend did not end this year. It's always the same. House of Thousand Corpses, Rob Zombie's very first film, his directorial debut. I've talked to you guys about this edition. I love this edition. I like to show this edition off because it's just so awesome looking. Yes, it's the DVD. This is essential. Okay, not only does the movie take place on Halloween night, but this is full of horror nerd juice. Let's just call it that. Homages, nods to previous movies. It's great. The atmosphere is great. It's creepy. It's grungy. It's dirty. It's everything you would expect from Rob Zombie and Halloween. I think it's fantastic, and I think House of a Thousand Corpses is a movie that you should watch every October. The next one that I think you should watch every October, Pet Sematary, the original Pet Sematary. I also happen to be a fan of this remake quite a bit. You guys know that. I've reviewed it. I've talked about it ad nauseum in live streams and whatnot. But the original is a classic that needs to be watched around Halloween. And I don't know if it's because of the cemetery itself and just the undead, you know, zombies and the undead and the paranormal that are always associated with Halloween. But it's just the cold, dark nature of the movie. It's a very dark movie. It's a very somber movie. There's not a lot of hope there. I think it's perfect. Pet Sematary. Check out the original Pet Sematary every October. That is in order. The next movie to make the list is a movie that I usually decorate my house while listening to the score from this film because I think that this movie just screams late 70s, early 80s vibes. Music, cinematography, slow burn suspense. Love it. And that movie is It Follows. Yes, I always listen to the Disaster Piece score while decorating my house every year. That did not change this year. I did it as well. I am very happy to do that. The vibe is just right, and I love it. It Follows is a movie that feels very Carpenter-esque, feels very horror heyday, late 70s, early 80s. The nostalgia is just, oh, it's on point. The atmosphere is on point. I could go on and on about this movie, but it is all carried first and foremost by that magnificent score. So, the next movie you should watch in October is It Follows. The next one is, some of these you could really just say the franchise. You know, you got to watch a movie from this franchise, and this is one of those. I picked the first one out. I would be okay with any of the movies in this franchise, and I will watch all of them in this franchise this month. But just to let you guys know what franchise I'm talking about, and where should we be picking from here, Nick? The Evil Dead. This is the original Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 works just fine too. Army of Darkness works just fine too. Evil Dead 2013 works just fine too. I'm sorry, but a desolate cabin in the woods, unsuspecting young adults being terrorized by demons, screams fall. The atmosphere is great. The cinematography, the very, again, very grainy kind of cold, somber feel to these movies. And a lot of that, the aesthetic is perfect with these movies, and it works for Halloween. It's very eerie. It's very just cold. It's a word that I keep coming back to when it comes to this. But all 4 of these movies, including Army of Darkness, probably the least for Army of Darkness when it comes to this time of year, though I will be watching it. But The Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, or Evil Dead 2013. Pick an Evil Dead movie out of the franchise and watch it in October. You should watch one of these movies in October, if not multiple, and this should be a no-brainer. The Saw movies, any Saw film. Watch it in October. For me, I would pick Saw 3, Saw 2, maybe some Saw 4 in there, maybe a little Saw 6 in there, a little sprinkle of it. You gotta watch a Saw movie in October. Now, the thing is, atmospherically, they're not really Halloween movies at all. But they're synonymous with the holiday. 1, because they're just carnage candy horror movies, and 2, because they came out in October, damn near every one of them. So you gotta check out a Saw movie in October. You gotta keep the tradition alive. Whichever one you want to choose, whichever ones you want to choose, that's perfectly fine, just as long as you're watching one of them. So pick a Saw movie and watch it in October. This one might be a surprise addition to the list because some people might go, oh, I didn't really think about that. That's kind of newer. That's intriguing that you would put that in there. What is that? The Conjuring. Yes, I believe The Conjuring, again, as I said with some of these previous films, the atmosphere, the cinematography, it's very fall. It's very fall. This movie takes place in the fall, so you get those aesthetics, you get the leaves, you get, the clothing, you get the 70s, you get the cold weather feel and look, and then just the absolutely hopeless, terrifying story that this movie revolves around is also just perfect for the time of year. When we're talking aesthetics, when we're talking about creep factor, when we're talking about cold weather, cold feeling movies, The Conjuring is a movie that should make your list. I will say, The Conjuring 2 feels more like a Christmas movie because it takes place around Christmas. Maybe I'll put that on a Christmas list later this year. The Conjuring is a movie that you need to grab and watch this October. Should come as no surprise to anyone. You guys should be watching this in October. If you're not, what's wrong with you? Rectify that. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Craven classic. This is a movie you gotta watch in October. If you don't watch it in October, are you really a horror fan? It is a classic. You're gonna see it spread all over the TV for the next 4 weeks. It's always on AMC, all the movie channels. You gotta watch A Nightmare on Elm Street. A movie that is very dark, that is very... Although this is more of a summer aesthetic, spring summer aesthetic during the day, the nighttime scenes are very cold, very dreary. Freddy, very cold himself. I love the cinematography, especially at night in this movie. It's a very classic monster movie in the sense of shrouding your antagonist in darkness for most of the movie, and I think that's why it works so well as a yearly October watch. So, you gotta grab it and watch A Nightmare on Elm Street in October. These next 3 are easily tops for me. 1 is definitely the number 1 movie to watch in October for me. These may not be 2 and 3, but they're essential to watch in October. And the first one of those is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I would also include Halloween 6 on this list. Some of these movies have a very great Halloween fall aesthetic and atmosphere. Halloween 3 is one of them. I don't know what it is about the movie that I just gravitate to so much during this time of year, aside from it being a Halloween movie. It's a very cold movie. It's a very somber movie. It's a very hopeless movie. Nobody wins. It's just perfect. It's perfect. The cinematography is great. The aesthetic is great. Tom Atkins, the clothing, the locations. It's great. It screams very fall. It screams very Halloween without it even revolving around the holiday itself. It didn't even need it because it feels very Halloween. If you don't watch this every October, grab it and add Halloween 3 Season of the Witch to your list. The next one probably is number 2 if I'm being totally honest with myself. So these probably are my top 2. So we'll just say that. The other 8 didn't matter in any particular order. They're just 8 movies you should watch in October. But the number 2 movie you should watch in October, coming in at number 2, is Trick or Treat. Absolutely, positively, without a doubt, you have to watch Trick or Treat in October. I know there are people that feel this movie is, a little overrated. This movie is not overrated. This is absolutely essential to your October viewing, period. point blank, probably has the best fall aesthetic and atmosphere I've ever seen in a movie. They litter this movie with costumes, decorations, candy, leaves, pumpkins, gorgeous lighting. Feels so cold, so fall, so yes. Trick or treat is essential in October. I usually wait until Halloween night to watch this. I probably will again this year. I'll probably wait. We'll see. Number 2 is Trick or Treat. Absolutely, positively. Grab it if you haven't already and add it to your October watch list every year, or I will find you. And then coming in at number 1, to nobody's surprise, is, drumroll, A Christmas Story. Yes. Come on. I had to throw you for a loop a little bit. It's Halloween. It's John Carpenter's Halloween. It is the movie to watch in October on Halloween night, especially. I always save it until Halloween night. I can't wait to watch it this Halloween night. Essential. I don't even need to tell you guys why. The damn movie's called Halloween, okay? Grab it. The feel, the aesthetic, the Halloween. Enough said. Number 1 movie to watch in October, Halloween. And save it for Halloween night if you can. Spooky. So that's going to do it. This was 10 horror films you need to watch around Halloween in the month of October. Whatever you want to call the video itself, that's what it covered. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. I think we put out some good content on this channel, and especially in this month, Halloween's my thing. So come along for the ride. Check us out on Patreon if you haven't already, and on social media. Links are down below. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.